sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hey team, is Ripper here. But you guys are doing fantastic today. I got a great video with the Vampire 2 and a great discussion about how to become a better destroyer player with the Vampire 2 in focus. But before we get in, like, subscribe, bell button below if you want to support the channel. Thank you guys for all the support. We've had a blast growing the channel and learning everything and just building the community. And around 2,000 subscribers, want to give a free premium DD giveaway, so stick around for that. But let's get right to it. The video is about your role as a destroyer player, where you literally do everything. That's why I like the destroyer role. And this video demonstrates you literally do everything, and we're going to analyze each one and how we can do to get better. You can look how we aim, how we coordinate the shells, torpedoes, cap, deal with everything from submarines, CVs, ships, cruisers, destroyers, whatever. Everything literally is done by the destroyer player, and that's why I hate when people say, oh, you're not doing enough. It's like, well, I do everything. Not just me, but every destroyer player out there does everything. But before we begin, let's get right to map positioning. This map right here, I will get the name of it later in the description, but this map is very unique as it's pretty large area to cover, especially in the back where everybody usually hangs out. But you got Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, caps, more or less. You're really trying to just stand off and see what the other team does, because there's so many islands to deal with, and you have a lot of cover, which is great. B usually is the center of the map is a good contested area, because look, it's got 4 little islands guarding Bravo to give you good concealment. But as soon as you enter the Bravo cap, you got to deal with, hey, man, you don't have any concealment anymore, and now you're exposing yourself, and there's really not much of an exit strategy there. So you got to be very cautious. But right off the bat, for me as a destroyer player, I don't go for Bravo, I'll go for Alpha and focus on the Alpha side. And you can use a lot of cover at Alpha to help not only hold off an advance, but mitigate as much of the enemy team's push or damage or output, whatever they can do, and just kind of hold and see what the enemy does. Because at Alpha, you can see there's a little peninsula sticking out there at the northern area where it gives a good cover. You can cover into Alpha, make sure nobody caps it. You got radar coverage over there as well if you have a radar cruiser, so you can actually get a lot of coverage on Alpha. Charlie and Delta is a very, very, I would say, gray area, because really not much you can do other than push into the cap, and now you're stuck with all the islands, and now you don't have a good exit strategy. You can use it for cover, but if you get caught by hydro radar, then you got a problem. And then obviously there's not much cover in the background. You're really just driving back and forth. And again, there's a big mountain at Charlie where it can obstruct a lot of your supporting fire. Like if you have players that are there to help you, that mountain really obstructs their view, even if you're spotting great. But if the shells can't even get to your enemy, very difficult. So really the overall strategy is for a push to Alpha, push to Delta and Charlie, and hold, and just see where it develops. And Bravo's kind of like an icing on the cake. If somebody is there to sneak in there and get that cap without getting shot at it initially right off the bat, that's also a plus as well. So what are we doing right here as a destroyer player? Our first role is really to spot. We're going to get into the Alpha cap and really spot and take a look around and just see what the battlefield develops, how it develops, and then you can make a best decision as to what are you going to do. You're going to push, you're going to hold, you're going to cap, you're going to spot, you're determining how you're going to play this out, and you're kind of waiting to have a destroyer reveal them, and so we can remove another player off the map. Really, the first 5 minutes of the game should really just be spotting and killing the DD right off the bat to give your team a little bit of advantage to see where it goes from there. I've always said if you kill the destroyer player, you increase exponentially the odds into your favor for winning the match, because really you want to eliminate the best, I would say, vessel in the map is really destroyer, and also the submarine now, because the submarine, which I hate, by the way, you can see the videos previously to this. The submarine has everything. It's got the best concealment in the game now. It's the new destroyer, if you want to call it that. It can go underwater at will whenever it wants. It can spot from underwater. It can torp from underwater. It can shotgun from underwater. It can do all types of things. It can surface randomly. Yeah, submarine can get depth charge like crazy, as Flamu just released a video where it drives straight through a cruiser and depth charge like crazy and still survives. So one of the best ships in the game right now, broken. The CV player obviously is in the game perma-spotting everybody. So look what we're doing. We're really just giving supporting fire, lingering in the background, and we got a submarine in front of us. We got a destroyer player in front of us. We have a lot to deal with right here. So you see we're absorbing all the fire, all the attention. Submarines coming at us, destroyers shooting at us. We got depth charges, whatever you want to call it, firing at us just to spot us. or not spot us, but just cause a wreck us to see our AA guns. Look, they're shooting torpedoes at us. Look, the submarine player is underwater. I can't do anything. I have to drive over him to depth charge. I got to shoot at him. Doesn't do anything either. He can shoot torpedoes at me all day and continuously spot me or ping me. So not very fair. So what we're going to do is support our other destroyer player, the Gearing, and the other submarine player by running in and trying to take on the submarine head on. So let's talk about the Vampire. What is the Vampire? It is a research bureau ship, which means that you have to grind out a lot of this so-called research bureau points, which is a very difficult resource to get. How do you get it? Go Google it, research it. There's tons of videos I've had on that, how to get research bureau points. I definitely recommend taking advantage of the times when they reset. Look that up, what that means. But the research bureau points are basically, in a nutshell, you got to regrind a line, and as you regrind the line, you get these awarded research bureau points. It just forces you to play the game longer so you can get them. But this thing costs a lot. I mean, up to the 50,000 research bureau point at this point, I think. And it's a lot, but it's definitely worth it because the Vampire 2 is one of the most powerful destroyers in the game. I'll put up the stats right here. Take a look at it. It is, as of right now, making this video, top 3 in the firepower damage per minute kind of range, and the Vampire 2 is up there, number 3 behind the Marceau and Smolin. Really awesome. Look at the damage and look at the stats and how it can do, how it can perform. Now look what I'm doing right here. I'm looking for the black spots of the oil slick of the submarine. I'm just driving right over it, and look, I'm literally right over the submarine, and I'm dropping torpedoes all over this thing, and it's still not dead. I mean, that tells you the power of a submarine. And do we get a kill? Boom. Splash 1 RP back to Porty. There we go. Finally, that is one of the roles right there as a destroyer player. You're there to help your team spot and destroy submarines. I mean, and you literally have to drive right over them, tantamount, a similar, I would say, comparing this to a battleship. Your battleship would have to ram another battleship. That's exactly what I just did right there, where I literally drove over a target, almost kind of seemingly ramming the target and dropping torpedo depth charges, hopefully getting that spot, because I had no idea where that submarine's at. I mean, can you give me a counter to that? I mean, I didn't have hydro, and if I didn't have hydro, how are you supposed to defend against it? So that's what you have to do, literally drive over it, rely on some kind of oil slick mechanic, and then depth charge the crap out of it. So there's one role satisfied right there. I'm still spotting ships over here. I'm providing firepower as a destroyer player. So you can see what you're doing. Multiple roles of destroyer player in Alpha Cap alone, just right there, doing your job as a destroyer player. Now, the problem with the Vampire 2 is also we don't have any heals. 23,000 HP is not much health to deal with, especially at the tier 10 super ship level, where you're getting destroyers out there with 28,000, 30,000 HP. 23,000 is not much to play with, and you have no heals. So playing the gunboat role as I'm doing, as I always play, is, I would say, difficult, and you really have to do a lot of juking and a lot of dodging and using your smokes at a very appropriate moment. Now, I just got hit by a Des Moines. You know what? That hurts. I'm using the islands as cover. Again, that's the cool thing about this map. There's a lot of island cover to give yourself the ability to tuck in, tuck out, and use those as shields. The cool thing about the Vampire 2 is it has these crawling smoke things. You can see at the bottom of the screen there's recharging. The crawling smoke feature, if you don't know what it is allowing yourself to drive at a, I would say, quarter speed, still move forward and have that smoke screen cover you because it disperses so long, and it gives you that kind of crawling smoke play style. So if you like that role rather than just sitting still in one smoke screen, then this is the ship for you. I really enjoy it. I like it. Now look at the DPM. Look at the firepower. The reload on the guns is pretty ridiculous. And once you start seeing adrenaline rush kick in and buffs and everything happening, we're getting down to the 1.4 second, 1.3 second reload, and look at the amount of firepower we're putting on. Now these are 113 millimeter guns. They don't penetrate much other than 19 millimeters, but what you're going to see is we start a lot of fires, and the fire chance is great. At base is 8% fire chance, but you're going to see a lot of fires happening all at once. I mean, let me look at the fire chance. Fires per minute, 11.5. That's double digits right there. You're getting 11.5 fires per minute. I mean, that is a lot of firepower that you're putting down, and annoying for a lot of ships out there. You see, we were causing the Des Moines to run away. That is also another thing. You're a deterring factor with the amount of firepower putting down. You're like the machine gunner, putting down suppressive fire that causes cruisers and battleships to run away. That's another role that you're playing right there, and I think that is very, very crucial when you're trying to hold off in advance. Notice we have not capped Alpha yet. Again, you don't win games by capping them right off front. You win games by literally who can hold a position the longest, who can kill the most ships the longest, and then eventually going in and capping at the very, very, say, mid-range to end, and you can win points off of that way. But going in right off the bat to try to cap something initially, initial caps don't win the game. Getting yourself killed is what results from that. But you want to stay alive as long as you can for that, I would say, end of the match. You want to survive the match as a destroyer player so that you can be of use to your team in the very long-term engagements of the battle. I've always said, if you're dead, you can't help. So what good are you if you're out of the game, you're dead? So again, you want to be a better destroyer player, watch yourself, mitigate your damage, and also provide firepower and conceal as much as you can for the long haul of the game. And let's see if we can get this final kill. Nope, someone gets the Zumos forward. But again, we were putting some heavy firepower. Look, we've already got 5 fires going on, and this thing is a fire match starter. Pretty incredible. Now, some of the stop-start features of the Vampire are pretty good. It is that British-style destroyer where they stop-start very, very quickly. I like it. Actually, forgive me, I have to say that the stopping feature is not the greatest of the British destroyers. What I meant to say is that the juking ability from going fast to slow is good. Once you start going in reverse and trying to stop near those single-digit knots, it's very difficult to stop in these things. But it does start very quickly. You notice that from stop to start. I'm going to look at the engine damage. If I have to take a look at it. The power of the Vampire 2, here are the stats right here. Max speed is only 35 knots, so not one of the fastest, but from full power, going to full power speed, about 20 seconds. So that's really, really good for the stop-start feature. For going backwards 10 seconds, not as great, but it is very quickly and nimble. I like the daring for that matter, too. Look at the amount of firepower we're putting down on the Schlieffen right here. I mean, the Schlieffen, what you're doing right here is suppressing fire down to start a fire on battleship to get them going and be a distraction. Look at that. They're shooting at us now. The battleship's shooting us. The cruisers are shooting us. We are the biggest distraction on the map, and that's what you want to be as a destroyer player. Start another fire. You're a fire starter. You're killing battleships like crazy. You're torping. You're spotting. You're providing everything on one side, and you're deterring. And boom, splash 2 RP back to 40. You're killing battleships. And look, you're also supporting your player killing destroyers. Here's another role. You're also a destroyer hunter. Let's see if we get a nice lucky shot. And boom, splash 3 right there. 2 kills within the last 30 seconds right there. RIP back to 40. He is down, and we've now secured Alpha cap right now. Notice how the team has lost literally half their fleet, and they have majority of the caps, so who cares? We get to go in and rush in and collect the spoils of war, and we get to collect all the caps. Alpha cap is now secure, but hold on. We have now a, what is that, a Burgonia? Nope, that is a Gascon. I can't even read the text on these things sometimes. That is Gasconia. It is a French battleship, but you know what? French battleships burn like easy. They don't have much armor on them, so we're not afraid to go in and push and cap and spot and torp and shoot and smoke. We're literally gonna do all types of roles right here, as you can see. Hunting the destroyer player, eliminating the destroyer threat, eliminating the submarine threat, eliminating the radar cruiser threat. We're also going to eliminate the battleship threat right here. As you can see, the battleship is not going to push in the cap, knowing that, oh my gosh, I'm getting spotted right now. That means there's a destroyer in there. There's going to be torps like crazy. We're going to basically smoke up to conceal our maneuvers, and we're going to start shooting and start as many fires as we can. Look at this. Now, the AP is also good on the Vampire 2. It's very, very powerful against destroyers. I recommend you using AP against destroyers when they're broadside, as well as battleships and cruisers. But right now, we're just trying to start fires. I want to get at least a fire going. So we got continuous passive income of damage going. I love that phrase right there. Passive income damage. I love that. That's what fires are all about in the game. Passive income fire damage is what you want to get going, because why? If I stop shooting, the fire is still killing the guy, and then I can switch to AP or HE or torpedoes at will. Now look at it. He just fired at us. Boomaniac gets a lucky shot shooting in smoke. I've seen a lot of those players today. They're really good at that. You know, never take an opportunity. Look, another fire going. People shooting at you in smoke tells you that you are a bigger distraction on the field than anybody else, and that's exactly what you want to be. I love those constant feedbacks in the game where I'm going, hey, I'm the most important player on the map right now because the enemy's shooting at me when everybody else shoots. Look at that. That for you being a distraction allows another player, another teammate to shoot from a broadside position, and that's what this game's all about, positioning and getting those nice juicy broadsides. And guess what? The destroyer player gives that ability to your teammates. I always like helping my other teammates win the engagement because that's exactly what you want to do as the leader, as a destroyer player. You're a leader. You're giving your teammates the competitive edge, and that is exactly what you did right there. You noticed the Brindisi or the cruiser that shot those sap shells from a distance had the angle because guess what? The battleship was angling towards us, driving in towards us, trying to kill us, and that opened up an opportunity for our teammate to make the kill. Great job right there as a teammate. Good shot. The torpedoes, they're not the greatest torpedoes, but they do provide you the ability to cause battleships to turn into you like that because they want to mitigate the damage from the torpedoes. So what are the torpedoes? There's only one set of them. These are daring torpedoes. There's only one set because the reason why is they reload pretty decently quickly within 90 seconds, but they also have 12-kilometer range, which is good. They're daring torpedoes, so they don't have the greatest detection. They're, 62 knots. They give you about a 1.3-kilometer detection, giving yourself about, let me look at the stats here. Torpedoes give yourself about a 7.8 second reaction time. So the player has enough time to react. So they're not the greatest torpedoes, but they're there if you need them. But really, here's what you're seeing right here. The bread and butter of the Vampire 2, the guns. Look at the firepower. They're putting a rainbow dragon's breath right there. Just dragging the arc of the shells just all over the place. Now, the shell arcs are okay. They're not as horrendous as the American destroyers are. But look, you can kind of just see how I'm aiming. This is also a good lesson on how to aim. I'm literally looking at the mini-map. I'm looking at the ship. I'm taking my reticle and just kind of walking the shells on. You know, see how I'm just pushing the reticle over and over. I'm just following as the ship moves along. I'm just imagining where is that ship going to be in the next maybe 10 seconds, and I'm just kind of placing that cursor right there and walking the shells on. If I see the shells are not connecting, I just move the cursor slightly to the right there, and then I'm going to see if a couple will connect. Look, it only takes one to start a fire. Passive income of damage right there, and that's exactly what you want to do. Look, I'm missing a lot of the shells, but the damage is still going up because I'm getting a lot of fire. Now, he put out that fire, which means that's good for me. If I start another fire, it's going to be a perma-fire, and we're just going to continuously keep walking the shells onto the target. So a lot of pros about the Vampire. Great DPM, high firepower rate, good engine, good maneuverability. I like it. The concealment is great. If you want to build, you can get it down to about 5.8, I believe. But again, I don't focus on concealment anymore. I'm more of a long-range DD gunboat. I'm also, look at that, another fire, 2 fires right off the bat right there, passive income, but you guys CVs get the damage con fires immediately. It doesn't matter anyways. Torpedoes are 12 kilometers. That's also good to reach out and touch somebody. They're either single launch or multi-launch. They're quick reloading for what you want to call it. It's got the 5-kilometer hydro, which is good if you need to push into somebody. The AA, look at you can see the AA right here. It does what it has to do. The AA is still trash in the game, but it does its job. And look, you're also an AA platform, okay? You're distracting the CV on you. It is not attacking any of my other teammates. It's only attacking me. Great. Look at another role that we're satisfying. We're a distraction for CV players. So we're also pushing in and eliminating a carrier. So not only are we going to kill a destroyer, a submarine, a battleship, let's also go ahead and kill a carrier. Why not add it? So we're doing all types of roles in the destroyer player, and the Vampire suffices this role very, very well. Look at single launch torpedoes right here. You can take a look at it. They won't get there, but you can see what they can do. And, oh, nice hit by the CV player. Not fair at all. Nothing I can do. The CV player can just shoot us at will, while REA can shoot down one plane. Whoop-de-doo. But anyways, that is the Vampire in a nutshell. That's Destroyer player and role in a nutshell. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How we played. What can we do to get better? And again, the Destroyer player is so fun. It is a role that literally does everything, as the video states. But pros I like about the Vampire, I already talked about. Some of the cons, it takes a while to slow down. Doesn't have the best AA. No heals. Very, very poor in that regard. Health pool is pretty low. But, man, this thing is a fun destroyer to play. That's why I like about it. The fun factor, very, very good. 10 out of 10. That is the pro of the ship. We get 4 kills in the game, 153,000 damage with 13 fires. We are a match starter, guys. That's how we do it. Number 1 in the team right there, providing all the firepower and the fun. And we do literally every single role that this game provides and offers. Satisfied very well by the Vampire 2. Hope you guys liked the video. Like, subscribe, bell button below. Appreciate all the support. Here comes the build right there, look how beautiful the Vampire 2 looks right there. And let's talk about how I build a ship for what it does. And there are many types of builds out there, and this is just one of them. I'd like to know what you guys think, what you guys are building out there. What are the pros? What are the cons? You can see we're really protecting our main armament. We got the extended hydro for long-lasting hydro. Aiming is a crucial, so we want to make sure it hits on the shells hit on target. Steering, that's all you can do really for the British destroyers. Concealment is a must, and reload. So let's take a look at the commander build. What does a commander build look like? So look and see, this is long-range DD gunboating. Incoming fire alert. I want to know if someone shoots at me so I can juke the shells, protect the main armaments. The next one is obviously last stand. You always want to take last stand, because if you lose your engine, lose your rudder, you still want to have some controllability. Survivability to maximize the HP. And then the next one we focus on is Fearless Brawler for maximum gun power reload. Adrenaline Rush is always a must. As you take damage, you want better reloads. Why not? The next one is AA Expert, or Main Battery Expert. Just an extra 5%. Why not? I don't have any heals, so I don't need the Superintendent. And then, of course, long range for the reach out and touch someone kind of gunboat. So hope you guys like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys stay safe, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys out there. Clan Bells is about to start up soon, and you guys stay safe. We'll see you out there. Don't forget to say hi, and hope you guys are doing well. Cheers.